and other counterparts, but it needs to be under 25%. And that's really what we are trying to develop, only corporate giving and not sponsorship. So no ads in our program. That's it. But on what project? There was the subject today. So it's also, we really try to think about what's happening in France. And these past 5 years, we have been thinking about trying to put the company with us on a specific project. And what happened is that, like the same as many of you, we have a very big cut in state support. That was the first one. And also, you have had a drop in supporting artistic projects. It did represent more than 20% of the budget for corporate philanthropy in 2010. And in 2008, it was 40%. So we had a big drop in supporting artistic. But what we constate is that the field supported by the companies, it's what they called cross-corporate philanthropy. They wanted to support projects that are the frontier between cultural and social. So we kind of took the niche to plug in, and we say if we want to raise money, we need well, in fact, it was a niche, but also we had this project, and we are, today we really realize that companies want to support us on this project, on this specific project. Also, you have structure in France, which is called Fondation. It's like kind of the trust in England, and they're really having money to spend on this project, outreach community projects. So we have been developing this past 5 years a lot of relationship with Fondation through application process, very strong applications process. And what's good, and I will link what you said, Susan, is it helps you to create a relationship with a donor. It can be outreach community project, and afterwards you need to get and create and make the relation happen to get to know each other. That's the key. Also, what was interesting, it's in outreach community project, it was most of the time multi-annual projects that help us raise money for more than 1 year, so 2 or 3 years, which was interesting for us. We have in Lyon an annual charity gala, and also the benefit of this gala is going for outreach community project. We've been working a lot. We have been focusing our private fund strategy on this project this past 5 years. I wanted to show some picture of one of the projects we have been. This project, it was called l'Opéra à l'école, so the artist opera at school. It has been a 3 years project. It just finished, and we're starting a new one. It's really a project that even if we didn't have money, we didn't create. Really, to be clear, we don't create project because of the money. We had this project. It's more a tool to get in contact with companies and kind of answering about what is the reality of philanthropy, corporate philanthropy in France today. So it was 7 artists from 3 fields, and we have been working with 500 children in an area where we are having our construction site for scenery, and it's an area where you have economic and social difficulties. It's a project about €500,000. So we had to raise this money, and we did it. So it was really good to make this project. I think it was important for me. I realized that it's a niche, and we really had, really in the future, have to focus on what we will do next, because one of our policy is not to create a project to have money. You have many projects. You have also artistic project, and that's the main most important thing in the opera. So I think I realized that there is risk in this strategy. First, it implies really, I would say, strong management skills and project project scale for fundraiser, because you have a very big application process and also on budgetary, like European Commission process, so it's pretty time spending. So fundraiser needs to have time to do other things and to continue raising money. Also, most of these projects are experimental, and we realize the donors, they want reporting, but they also want evaluation, they want dissemination, and you need to be careful that what you will do with this project afterwards. I think it's important not getting too far from the Opera House philanthropy and not only doing outreach community project philanthropy. And the last point would be that I don't have to forget that without any art form, artistic production, will not be able to have any more community projects. So we are really aware of that, and we're really keeping that in mind to continue to raise money. But I will follow, I think, the advice of Dory this morning, who said that you can have an overhead cost on this project and try to really put in front the artistic form and the art form, and I think the tool to get to know people and make them know the Lyon Opera House. Thank you.
Thank you. It was very interesting, and just one of the points that I want to especially comment on is a multi-annual project. When you have a donor, it's incredibly important that you discuss with him or the company for more than 1 year, for two reasons. You have them for 3 years, so you don't have to discuss again the following year, and also you develop relationships. This is something that we haven't discussed this morning yet, and I think it's important to stress it. And also the word evaluation, because if you do particularly a scheme like you did in Lyon, yes, the sponsor wants to know how many people have seen it and what it did to the community. So it's just something that I would like to stress. Okay, we'll now move to Sweden. Kjell, please.
All right. Well, thank you for inviting me here to this session. I would like to, I don't know how much you know about NorrlandsOperan, but I would like to give you a little bit of background facts and also a little bit about, I will touch how we look at sponsoring. NorrlandsOperan was founded in 1974 as a result of the new cultural politics in Sweden, where decentralization was a key word. And NorrlandsOperan started with 4 singers and a pianist. They forgot the orchestra, so the first production was actually postponed half a year so they could bring in musicians to do the opera. Today we are a center of performing arts with more than 100 full-time employees and around 600 project employees who flows through our organization every year. Our budget, we have a turnover of 115 million Swedish, and about 80 million is grants from owners and government. So we moved from a couple of singers to an opera department with between 2 and 4 new productions every year. We have a full-time symphony orchestra with its own concert series. We have one of Sweden's most important stages for contemporary dance, a music department that aims for the whole region, 2 festivals and a small art gallery. We have 4 venues: the concert hall for the symphony orchestra, we have the opera theater, we have a black box, and we have a small studio theater. Our vision is to be a venue for new expression, and we strive for our work to be characterized both the traditional and the provocative. And this year, 2014, our town Umeå was elected together with Riga to be the cultural capital of Europe. And here the key word has been open source, the art of co-creation. We have worked together. The city has brought in the program, we didn't bring things from outside. It all happened from inside. And the dramaturgy follows the 8 Samic seasons. You know, the Samic people is the only indigenous people in Europe. And its 8 seasons is following the cycle of the reindeer. No, wrong button. There. Just a few words about how we look at sponsoring. And this is maybe like kicking in already open doors. So forgive me if I say things that is already yesterday's news for you. Before, we had media that interrupts. We had transactions, promotions, and familiarity message. We think that now media that creates contact is important. Commitment is really important. Movements and appreciations of the message. We need to stop interrupting what people are interested in and be what people are interested in. We see us as owners of certain rights that we can share with the sponsor. And it's critical to find sponsors that shares our values. We think it's important not to focus on euros and cents, and rather value and prioritize cooperation that builds and reinforces our brand or develops our operations. And sponsoring shall in our operations not be seen as a necessary evil to finance our business. It should be a tool and a method for reaching goals and our aim towards our vision. So we look at a triple win situation. First, an opportunity to build our brand together with our sponsors to create a stronger, NO stands for NorrlandsOperan. And for the sponsor, a collaboration to achieve our respective goals and to connect between their brand and the target markets. And the third, and I think one of the most important beneficials, it should be stronger experience for the visitors. I should probably gravitate back towards the subject of the day, fundraising for festivities or special events. Yes, Umeå is the capital of culture in Europe this year. And the organization thought we will have lots of sponsors, we will get lots of money. And they tried to make packages of these seasons, and they tried and they worked with a big sponsoring bureau, and they didn't succeed. They didn't get anything. And I think it was because it was hard for the sponsor to understand, what am I putting my money into? NorrlandsOperan, I wanted to do, during this year, I wanted to do Richard Strauss Elektra outdoors. And I contacted La Fura dels Baus, and we started working. And it was really early in the process. It was around beginning of 2010. And I said that no money from our normal budget should go to this project. I wanted it to be totally external financed. And I think it's important to have a clear vision of how the production should be, and the sponsor should understand what he or she is sponsoring. We have a rich man in Umeå, Christer Olsson at the Baltic Group. It's a real estate business. And their motto is, what is good for Umeå is also good for the Baltic Group. I think it's important. we as a regional town, we don't have many headquarters of big businesses. And that's really hard because it's there in the headquarters that they make these decisions about sponsoring. If you don't have them close to you, it's really, really hard. That's my experience. I created good relations with this man over a number of years without asking for money. I just invited his group to our performances. I gave them information, and I gave them information about Elektra. And then they came to me and said, we want to support this opera project. So I got 550,000 euros from this group. And that started the possibility to get more money from other sponsors because the wall was broken. They didn't ask for much in return, but obviously they felt that this would be good for Umeå. The production were completely sold out. It's actually, I dare to say, it's the world's biggest opera stage. It was 80 meters wide and 200 meters deep. The whole town talked about it. Taxi drivers, hairdressers, shop owners, and everybody has something good to say about it. And it will be broadcasted on Swedish television tomorrow. And if you are interested to see this, you can watch it on demand, which is now quite common, for the next 30 days on the web at SVT Play. And that's worldwide, so you can watch it anywhere in the world. And Unitel will also release a DVD of the production. So my experience is build good relations and have a really clear view of your project. And start well in advance. I think also these decisions are often made emotionally, and it's not a product of board meetings or deep analysis. I think it's more comes from the heart of the sponsor. I think I will play just in the end a little commercial that was a TV commercial for this. We used many hundreds of thousands of liters of blood-colored water in the beginning of each show. So just to give you a hint.
Hatar min mor. Jag vägrar förlåta. Jag kräver hämnd.
Thank you.
This is absolutely fascinating because I don't know whether you know, Elektra is not in the operatic repertory the most popular as far as I know, certainly not in the UK. But if you plan something like that well in advance and get the people on your side and a community on your side, it makes all the difference, which is fantastic. And this is something that I personally always believe in, and working in the Royal Opera House, we do an awful lot of projects and special projects. So it's wonderful to hear your experience. Now, to move to our next presenter, Italy didn't have very good report recently, but I'm very pleased to say that Torino is different, and we'll hear all about it.
Thank you, Susan. Good afternoon to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you. Before beginning my presentation, I want to show you our promotional spot we realized with our sponsor, It's about our Rossini tour. It's a tour on Rossini. We will do very nextly in 10 days in North America. We will go to Toronto, to Ann Arbor, Chicago, and New York. And in New York we will be at Carnegie Hall, and as well as for a concert at the United States. Okay. Okay. Before 2006, the marketing and fundraising department was a basic one with ticket sales and public relations activity. But since 2006, there has been a continuing decline of public funds. And this situation forced us to change our approach and finding new and innovative solutions and resources. As you can see, in 2005, fund public were 76%, and they are now 60%, while the private ones were 24% and now are 40%. The department is made up patronage and sponsoring for companies, Friends of the Reggio, Associazione Amici del Reggio, that I will focus on in a few minutes, special projects, advertising, direct marketing, renting out the building, ticket sales, customer care and satisfaction. The brand and the project worth, value, I just want to say a word about it. If you don't have a good project, a good program, and a great brand, you can sell nothing at all. So it's important to concentrate on it, spending in communication and what you want your theater is about to do for community for youth, for culture. Our music director, Maestro Noseda, is doing a very good work. Thanks to his passion and enthusiasm, he brings the orchestra and choir to maturity. He contributes to the success of our international tour and of the interest of the press and creating, broadcasting, recording and co-producing. It makes the Teatro Regio a reference point for important singers, conductors and international ballet companies. All that it translated to a great audience success. Our general manager, Mr. Vergnano, by his side, managed to balance our books, doing a good management between resources and costs, keeping high quality of the production but making more productivity. Here are our location that you can rent for exhibition or conferences. We have our auditorium. It's about 1,600 seats with one row of 32 boxes. And you have the Foyer del Toro for about 1,000 people standing, or for a dinner with 300 people seated. We have our Foyer Maria Callas, dedicated to the artist who in the 1973 launched with us the new Regio, the rebuild of the theater after the fire in the 1936. She did her only direction for that occasion. It was for Vespri Siciliani. Here is our membership foundation with the company we have with us, supporting through patronage or sponsoring. Okay, some photographs of examples. That's our Windows display for promote your company. The companies can do as well promotion with direct marketing, so contacting directly audience during our events with a demonstration show, as well as distributing products. It's a new entry in our method. It's using the over-title board showing promotional messages. This is a setup for our season opening night sponsor. This is another sponsor, Giugiaro. We insert the electrical car directly on the stage, so it is incorporated into the production. And it was for Madama Butterfly, so it was the Damiani point of view, very contemporary. It is a miniature model of our curtain to advertise that Prada is contributing to realize our new curtain. So we did a miniature model and we expose it to the boutique of Prada in Turin. Okay, I want to talk about the Friends of the Regio. It's one of the initiatives we took to deal with the ever-decreasing public funds. It was refounded 2 years ago, because before, obviously, it existed, but it was an independent body completely detached from the theater. And we wish to use it and its name in a new, completely way, new way. It is composed of people who are fond of music, culture and art. The mission, according to the Regio, is to support specific projects. We did the first one last year with Gala Verdi, and the next one will be in 1 year and a half with events around La Bohème. There are two options to adhere to the association. The basic one, to become a friend, is about a minimum 1,000 euro, and to become a patron, it's a minimum of 3,000 euro. Subscribing to the association bring the members benefits, and it's important to highlight that this benefit doesn't have any extra cost for the theater in order to have all the donations for the management. They receive a monthly newsletter with updates on events and happening taking place in theater. We create a membership list, and the member can choose if being published or remaining anonymous. We create a membership card. It's important for the emotion of a card of being a part of something, but the card allow also to the members to access in some reserved area in the theater when there is performances. For example, the reserved area of the cloakroom, the reserved area during intervals where we organized special cocktail. And it's important to tell the cocktail is made with technical partnerships, so we don't pay it. We change the furniture with communication with that kind of companies. Obviously, they are invited to some special events that we create for the donators. For example, this is a photograph when we were doing a music lesson. It was about Tosca, and using the piano, explaining the music from its point of view. This was on the stage with our stage director, explaining La Bohème, demonstrating the work that goes into each individual set. This was during for the launch of the new season. We do it, it's a preview exclusively for the donators. This was a guided tour in our set workshop. All that activities are very important, as it was told this morning, to make them part of something for the ownership. But it's only important that they understand how huge it is to make opera and production, and how there is a big work behind the scenes. It's not only the final project they see on the stage. That's a breakdown of the donation. The first year we got 53 members for almost 140,000 euro collected. Last year, 60 members and 145,000 euro. And this season is still in progress. We have right now 64 members with almost 150,000 euro collected. As you can see, it has increased every year. Our special project, the first one was Gala Verdi, and the association have contributed with 180,000 euro. It was a 2-night event dedicated to the 200th anniversary of Giuseppe Verdi, with a cocktail reception during intervals. Our next project will be La Bohème. We prospected to receive 300,000 euro from the association. As in 2016, we will do a lot of events connected to La Bohème for the 120th anniversary of its first performance, which took place in Turin at the Reggio in 1896. Meanwhile, there is a youth project supported by the association, and they have free direction for the school. All the activity we organize for the school, like guided tours, laboratories, special laboratories, making them participating at the performance from the hall. After we have our social curtain, it's our social project with our charity partner. We select young people with difficult backgrounds to teach them through rehearsals and laboratories to go on the stage making a performance at the end of the season. And we organize as well masters and work grants. For the future, obviously, we would like to do more and more and more, but the special project we have is to create a bookshop to go in streaming, and some crowdfunding projects. Okay, as a final part, I want to show you our flash mob we did at the market, flower market, Saturday morning, and I hope you will enjoy it.
Thank you very much, Delphine. Incredibly interesting. Amazing how corporate support can live together with individual support very happily. And finally, we'll go to Vienna, how an individual supporter can become a major supporter.
Thank you. It's a small story. One director of a company was as a private person, a donator of the Vienna Staatsoper. Excuse me, my name is Alexandra Hilverth. I'm from the Vienna Staatsoper. I forgot to say, but you told it before, no, Susan? Okay. So to be a donator of the Vienna Staatsoper means that you are a supporter of the opera and a supporter of the opera ball. We have once a year the opera ball. Everybody wants to be in it, and everybody wants to have a box, a special box, the nicest box, but you get it if you are a donator. So we have lots of donator, but not a lot of boxes, so that's a good job. He was a donator, a very good donator for some years. One day he called me and he had a favor. He had businessmen in Vienna and he wanted to have a special event. He told me it can be on Saturday between 11 and about 1 or perhaps 1:45 because at 1 they have lunch. And there's people, the most of them never been in the Vienna Staatsoper because they are international people and they want to see everything. They want to see the best singers, the Vienna Philharmonics, the best ballet, the chorus, and everything if it's possible in 1 hour. Okay, I answered the thing I every time answer, yes, we will do it. The second answer was that it will be expensive, but he said, it doesn't matter. And he told me, you can be sure that everybody will be a sponsor of the opera, the audience. I am sure you hear this thing every day. So nobody was a sponsor behind this. Okay. The really difficult thing was to pursue the people inside in the opera to do this. The orchestra, the one singer or two singers, the ballet. We have a wonderful ballet because we have a new director from France, Manuel Legris, so we have one of the best ballet now. And the Vienna Philharmonics, they have something else to do on Saturday morning. And the best conductor, they wanted our chief, Welser Möst, and the director of the opera. Sure, he has to tell them something. So, the end of the story, we made it because I told them, look, this is the chief of the biggest oil company we have in Austria. If we want them to do something with us, we have now the chance to create something really special. And it was not our idea, it was their idea. So when we can do this wish for them, I'm sure it can be something big for us. So we did it, and it was extraordinary because the audience was on the stage, the Philharmonics were on the stage, the Flores was singing, Welser Möst was conducting, and the chorus, I think about 40 people was on the stage with the audience. So we were among the chorus, among the musicians. It was really something very, very special, also for me. After this, we went to lunch, and I was sitting next to this director, and he told me that it was really extraordinary. He's so happy, it was fantastic. But the only but the only wish he has is to show it to many people, to show it to all his companies. He has also companies international, not just in Vienna. And this is the problem that it was a fantastic show, but just for 20 people. So how we can create it for many people? So I thought, oh God, no, I can't do it a second time. But in the next second, I have the idea. We were planning the streaming project. We were planning, my director, Mr. Mayer, it was his big wish to have the streaming project in 1 year on air to best quality, best pictures, best audio, live in all the world. to scene. So I told this director the idea of Mr. Mayer, and that is, we are working on it, but the state will not pay anything. The state told us it's a wonderful idea, but not the money. So we have to do it just with sponsors, and we will do it when we find sponsors. So the answer was, okay, let's try together. So what I want to say is, the first step was small donator, then the event. The next step was, okay, let's do together the next project, the streaming project, to show the opera we do every evening live for everybody, to make it possible. So he became main sponsor of the streaming project, and we had a very strong technological sponsor, Samsung, because Samsung was my idea, because they were, on this time, they were also a little sponsor of the opera. They do the outdoor screens of the opera, they sponsored. But the next step was they wanted to do more power in the television sector. And they started to do the new apps. So my idea was, I was in charge with the European Center of Samsung, to have the content for the apps they do. Because they have the content of sport, they have the content of plays, but no culture. So let's have together the content of the Vienna State Opera, the best culture you can have. So they did it, and also we have 2 other sponsors, and this project is now 1 year on air. Let's have just a commercial look on this project, please. Thank you. Oh no, I'm sorry, this is the first. We can look, this is the opera commercial. No, I don't mean, can we see the second film? I'm so sorry. This was the Vienna State Opera, if you don't know it.
Just imagine, live at your home, a variety of more than 40 evenings of opera and ballet, international stars, the Vienna Philharmonic as the orchestra of the State Opera, magnificent productions, at home, or wherever you are, on your TV, computer, or mobile devices. Switch at any time between 2 channels, a total view of the stage, or close-ups with moving cameras, subtitles and scores. We turn the pages for you, most comfortably with our Samsung Smart TV app, produced by our in-house video teams. Brilliant sound, exciting backstage impressions, interviews, making-ofs, turn your living room into your private box at the opera. Vienna State Opera, live on the internet.
So you didn't show us the sponsors. Excuse me, the most important thing. No, it's okay, it's okay. Here they are. Okay. So this is a very successful project. We are developing it. Christopher Wiedauer, who is the chief of this project, and everything is is preparing inside the house, and we have no extra something outside, because this was the thing that the director said. Everything we have to do for in house, not outside. So Christopher Wiedauer is here, not here now, but outside. He can explain you more technological thing about this streaming. It's really a fantastic thing we do now. So, and the next and the last step and the most important step for us was that we have Lexus as a general sponsor for many, many years now, I think 10 years now. And Lexus has the same problems like all mobile productions, that they have less money, they have less production. So they ask us if they can still stay as a general sponsor, but to pay less. So yes, we were very happy with them, we agree, but we have the question that they don't stay alone, that we have the possibility to find a second general sponsor. Sure, it was a possibility, but we have to find it. So I thought we have the best cooperation with OMV, the oil company. We are the, I can say, the most important brand in Austria. Because when you think about Austria, what do you think? Music, culture, classical music. And the next step is Vienna State Opera. So the most tourists who are coming to Vienna are visiting the Vienna State Opera. The same is with the OMV, the oil company. This is the biggest oil company we have in Austria. If in Austria we are speaking about the biggest, most important industry, it is OMV. So my director and me, we met the director of the company and we spoke with him. Look, we have so many cooperations, and we have the people, everybody knows it, we show it, but we have to be equal. Two companies, the best brands together, and we do many things, but we don't tell it like this. These are two brands who belongs together, two Austrian brands. So he's not long time he thought about it, he agreed, and now we have the second very big general sponsor. What I want to tell, and the small story, is that I learned to look more inside the people we have, the sponsors, the small donators we have, to create with them more, to have a relationship, not just to say thank you for that what you are doing, but more to listen to them, what they need. And the second very important thing, to have new projects. When I have a streaming like this, a very interesting new thing, it's not really opera, it's opera with a technologically very important thing. Or now we have the children's opera, we are moving in another house. Also children's projects, very important, because of the discussion tomorrow was that the most sponsors want to sponsor in education. Yes, we have it. We have a ballet school in our house. We have the children's opera now in another house. We need money for this. This is all education. So you have to have new projects, interesting projects, and develop it more and more with the people, also with the people you have in the house. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. And now I would like to open discussion for everyone. We have 15 minutes, so please do ask a question to any of us, really. Okay, well, I will ask some questions. We had something quite special, that in order to increase the support from somebody in Vienna, an event had to be created, which is an interesting thing, because an event is an investment. And it's quite important thing to bear in mind, that often you have to invest money in order to raise more money. And some people are afraid to do that. But with very, very careful planning, you can actually do that. So I would like, maybe you have another example. You did a gala in Turin, which obviously you also had to prepare quite well. Would you like to talk a little bit about that? You know.
Yeah, the idea was in Turin we didn't get, we still don't have something like a gala opening night, like a big annual moment. We have our opening season, obviously, with our sponsors, but we want to create an event for which people think, I have to be there, I can't miss it. And that was the idea. We invent the Gala Verdi. So we have selected singers and the program, and a lot of something like a packaging with. It was not only the ticket for that kind of concert, but with something more to make a difference with a usual performance we have. And so we insert a cocktail reception during intervals. We insert a special guided tour, or an interview, or a meeting with the artist. And just to see the answer, the response of the audience. And it was good. It wasn't marvelous, the answer of the audience, because our audience, I don't know somewhere else, but in Italy, in Turin, they're a little closed to changement, movement, and anything, yes, of changement. And so when you you put on stage something new, like a contemporary production or something different, not traditional, the first impression is, I don't like it. I don't know. I don't want to know that I don't like it. So we have always to do things slowly, step by step, with being aware of what is our audience. And but we have a great tourism now from the Olympic Games in 2006. And so it's like now 8 years that the people in town are now good of seeing tourists, foreign people. And so it's a part of the changing times. And we did it, but we have to be slow, unfortunately. Yeah.
Kjell, you wanted to say something?
Yes, you can also do these events and not spend money. I have an example. I would like to, if that's okay, I can tell you. A couple of years ago, they got contacted by an insurance company who wanted to promote fire alarms because, towards Christmas, people lights candles and things happen at home. And insurance companies has to pay quite a lot of money. So they came to us and said, can we do something together? So we said, okay, let's create a piece for fire alarms. So we conducted, they paid for a composer to create, we created an instrument from fire alarms, a percussion instrument, which was quite complicated. And composer composed music for fire alarms and orchestra. And we did, and this insurance company got a concert. They invited people to have wine and see this concert, which this piece was a part of. And it went around the television and the news. I think we got 7 million hits on this. So they got their message out. We got our message out, and everybody was really happy. And we got a new piece written. And now, next season we have we're working with water in our opera productions. The water is the main theme, and the water is also something for insurance companies that has problems with water. So they will come to us now, and we will have a great sponsorship with lots of commitment from both sides. So I think you can, if you find the right subjects, I think you can do something together and do something that's more than that. One and one becomes more than two.
Just to tell you that the event we did with the OMV, we didn't pay, they pay, because it was their idea. So we said, okay, to organize is the difficulty, not the money. The money is also for us the difficulty, but not for them. So.
How long did it take you to convert a particular individual donor to the streaming? What was the time that it took?
From the donor to the streaming?
Yeah.
Let's think, not so long time. I think 4 months. No, because it's not the way. From the donor, there was the event between. Okay, from the event to the streaming. No. It was really when we were on lunch. He said, "Yes, let's do it." It was the question how much it will be the donation. But that we do it, he decided during the lunch, because he was so enthusiastic. It was a moment for him, he never will forget it in his life. Me too.
Microphone. Could you pass the microphone down here?
Alexandra had said that it's important to listen to sponsor, but I want to ask line how far you can go if you would like to fulfill the wish of sponsor. Sponsor would like that you have to do something, but you have your artistic image of your theater, of your company, you have your plans. So where are borders among sponsors' will or sponsors' wish and the artistic plans of the theater? If it's who would like to answer? How far you can go?
I think it's a negotiation every time, and you shouldn't shake hands before both parties are satisfied, and of course then you have to think. I don't think anybody wants to make violence on artistic decisions. I mean, you shouldn't make yourself a dog for a bone. I think you should find the right thing that will enhance both the sponsors and the company, that both will benefit of it. And as I said before, most important, the audience.
I have an example because we did it for a bank. I was going to meet them, I think once a month, trying, and I couldn't accept a no. No, it's impossible, because I could see for them great things through theaters, using theaters as your stage. And at the end, they needed to do an event for their anniversary, and they asked us to make a concert completely from zero. So the director of the bank became an artistic director and telling us the program. He is still fond of Mozart. And so it was Mozart. We tried to put something like different arias, Verdi, Puccini, Mozart, and like a best of Mozart. Okay. And he did all the program with our consultation, obviously, to make it sense. And we did it one night for the sponsor, and he paid for it and more. And as it was a great thing at the end, we did it another night for audience. Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, I'm going to ask one question. All of you, were you involved in a project that didn't succeed? And are you happy to talk about it? Were you involved in a project? So, what's the conclusion? You know, don't be afraid to ask, and don't be afraid to fail. Because you might fail with 3 projects, but you will succeed with 1, and that's going to be absolutely fantastic. And opera will always survive because it's a wonderful product. It's for everybody, and it's for old, middle-aged, young, everybody. Thank you very much for coming this afternoon.